specifically grew up knowing I am going to be in film or I'm
Right.
going to be a director. It was more just like I loved going to museums, and I loved going to something that's, I guess, more common where I'm from. We have a lot of more elder storytellers, and so there'll be these events where kids and families can go and you'll listen to these people tell ghost stories, or whether it was me at camp, wanting to tell ghost stories, or it would always leak out in
Right.
other ways. That creativity is gonna find a way out.
Absolutely.
What were some childhood inspirations that made you want to become a storyteller?
I would say I was probably maybe about 9 years old, and I decided that I was either going to be a novelist and write books and move to New York, or I was going to start making movies and I was going to go to California.
So you knew from a very young age
Yeah.
this is what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I did. What I started doing in high school, I started writing these kind of like mini stories. So every week, I would write 10 pages and it would be kind of like a chapter. And then I would just pass it around to friends. And before I knew it, like half the senior class was coming up to me and they're like, oh, well, when's the next chapter coming out? And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? How do you have this? But that was like pretty much the extent of it.
When you started college, did you know, okay, I want to be a producer?
I did a lot of writing. It wasn't until I moved to Los Angeles in 2006 where I was actually working on film sets, and then I just realized that directing came naturally to me.
Yeah.
And it was something that I felt comfortable with, and I got really, positive feedback from it. So that's just kind of the direction that I took.
Walk me through an experience of running a set as a woman.
I think the challenges that come with it is really just getting your foot in the door. And I think personally, I just got to a point to where in my career, I was, associate producing for a lot of shows, and I had so many under my belt, and I was ready to take that next step. So what I started doing is anytime that I would be in the company of my producer in the field and we were doing, let's say, a scene, but we were running through it, the second or third time, so I knew it was just a safety, I would ask them, do you mind if I direct, or do you mind if I ask a couple of questions? And so that's kind of how I started proving myself, because a lot of my superiors, the executive producers, they tended to all be men. So I think once I started, making myself known, I'm ready to move up into this position. I think you just have to ask.
Yeah.
You have to take it. Nobody's going to give you anything, at least as a woman. So that's kind of how I started breaking out of the assistant roles and doing more of the leadership roles.
Since you've been in LA, have you had any female mentors? Have you had any women in the industry who have helped you, or has it mainly just been your own navigation?
I would say that probably 90% of any opportunity that I had, it came from just asking questions from the women that I did know. And I think there's something about that. It's a sense of community, and it's almost like a sense of moral obligation to help a fellow female producer. But I definitely had a lot of female producers who, were always there to answer my questions, there to improve my writing skills, and so I just took advantage of it.
What does a producer do on an unscripted series?
Well, part of my duties as a senior producer for Hidden Heroes is finding the stories. If there's a story that can be told, if so, then who's the hero of this story? How are we portraying this? Then assembling a shoot. So everything from finding crew, scheduling, shooting schedules, flying out there, and then once you're on set, you start with the interview questions, you do a little bit of B-roll, and you just kind of start knocking it out.
If you're going to be a producer, what kind of a person is good for that?
Being confident, good-natured, and being somebody that people feel comfortable with. You've got to have a happy crew. That's essential. Everybody does their job better when they're happy. Make friends with everybody. Every set, find out who people are, introduce yourself, be bold, be confident.
Yeah, and be kind. Everyone is so busy usually on sets. Just tiny moments of kindness can go so far. So yeah, that's just my little 2 cents. You produce a show for CBS called Hidden Heroes. Can you please tell me everything about it?
So the whole message is about, aspiring to be a better person, and that anybody can do it. It doesn't matter how old, how young you are, what you have, what you don't have, as long as you have a focus to improve the quality of life for other people. That is what a hidden hero is. What inspires me so much about the people that I've met is that they didn't know how to do it, how to start. They just did. They just
Yeah.
started somewhere, just do
Yeah.
something. And so what I've learned about people is that essentially everybody wants to make a difference in some way or another. And when people start acting out on those things that they want to see change in their community, that's when they start motivating and inspiring other people to do the same.
I feel like we're at a time where everyone is inundated with so much negativity, and that's all you see. You don't see a lot of, hey, there are people out there who are doing good things, who are making efforts, who aren't seeking attention, but they're trying to do something good.
And I think at the core of the show, that's what it's about. It's about a call to action to your fellow peers. How can we make the situation better? What can we do about it?
Yeah, that's
You know, it just kind of made me
exciting.
feel like, okay, I'm doing something right. So why not just keep going?
Thank you so much, Adria, for being
Thank you.
here.
Thank you. It's an
Thank
honor.
you to everyone who tuned in. Please watch all the other episodes. Please subscribe. Thank you so much, and we will see you at the next episode.